I am Madisen Hullander, a researcher in the psychology department / honors college, and this is my study, Reconnecting, Combating Social Isolation, Post-COVID Shutdowns in Undergraduate Populations. So this topic particularly interested me because I was a student during 2020. That was my first year, fall of 2020, and I have anecdotally heard a lot of students expressing that they didn't have the chance to network, they didn't have the chance to fully socialize with their peers. So I decided to look into the topic further and found that there were multiple studies showing that there were connections between the COVID distance learning / COVID lockdowns and increased feelings of social isolation, less feelings of social belonging, and an increased risk of a reduced quality of life, especially psychologically, which really interested me because I am a psychology major. So this research aims to test what potential programs Stout could put in place to reduce feelings of loneliness in undergraduate populations post-COVID lockdowns, particularly at Stout. My hypotheses were, would a free on-campus event in which students can play large group games decrease students' feelings of loneliness? Hypothesis 2 was, does a larger percentage of online courses versus in-person courses affect student feelings of loneliness? And does having roommates affect feelings of loneliness? For the methods in this study, I ended up with 9 usable data points. 9 undergraduate students at UW-Stout, 56% male, 89% Caucasian. For the procedure in this study, the study was advertised around campus utilizing posters, word of mouth. There was unfortunately snowball participant collection just due to participants attending Reconnecting and then telling their classmates about it. And it was also in some honors college announcements and announced in some courses. So for the methodology in this study, any participant that attended Reconnecting was offered free food and drinks along with a gift card entry for a raffle. And participants were asked to complete a set of longitudinal surveys. So for these longitudinal surveys, there was an initial survey asking them about demographics, their number of roommates, if they had roommates, and their estimated percentage of online courses, along with a loneliness survey using the Gervald loneliness scale. And then every week after that they attended, they were only required to do a longitudinal code connecting them to their first survey, and then the Gervald loneliness scale again. And what we had found from this study was that there was not any conclusive data about the reconnecting meetings reducing feelings of social loneliness, social isolation. As we can see from the ANOVA that I did, the repeated measures ANOVA, the p-value is above 0.05, which means that the results were non-significant. So that discluded H1, hypothesis 1. As for my second and third hypotheses, in my correlation matrix, there was no correlation between a higher percentage of online courses or having roommates and their average loneliness scale throughout the weeks. As for collecting the data for my repeated measures ANOVA, I averaged the scores of their first trimester in the study and their last trimester in the study. Here is a little trimester breakdown where you can see the dates of each study. There were a lot of confounding variables with snow days and spring break and Qualtrics issues, but overall we did get 3 trimesters. However, there was no significant difference between the average scores for the first and last trimester of each participant, and any participant that was there for more than 1 trimester was counted in the final data. As for some more confounding variables, there was a very small amount of usable data points. Overall, there were 33 individual unique attendees to Reconnecting, but there ended up only being 9 that attended more than one trimester. I'm sure there were more, but there was issues with use of the longitudinal code, in which participants did not know their mother's maiden name, or misread the instructions, or simply used prank names. And as for the future, I would really recommend that this study be redone. I'm not able to do it again at Stout because I'm graduating, but it would be really interesting to see if this could work on a larger scale, especially because the word is more out about the methodology and place and everything about this study. It would be really interesting to see if there was significant data with a larger sample size. But it was very interesting to see that anecdotally, this study did help participants feel less lonely. It did help networking and socialize. Um, but that isn't always shown in the data, which it wasn't here, which is completely fine. But I feel as if this study was a success just because of that anecdotal evidence of reconnecting some students on campus, and I think that this could go really far if it is redone with some of these confounding variables accounted for. Thank you.